Hi everyone, this is William from the Headphone Experience. I'm here tonight with my first impressions of a couple of headphones from JM Audio, and I just wanted to say if my voice sounds a little off, I just spent about the last 6 days with strep throat and just getting over it, and I was going to actually do separate videos for these two headphones for my first impressions, and I will do separate full reviews of these, but because of missing 6 days, I missed 5 days of work, and behind on my reviews, I'm going to go ahead and just combine these two for my first impressions video. So anyway, this is the JM Audio Editions XTC2 Open Back, and I've got two of them. Same headphone but different driver. One has a Biowool driver and the other has a Beryllium driver, and I'll explain the difference in a few minutes. But other than that, they're pretty much two identical headphones, although they do have a different finish also. I don't know if the wood is the same or not, but one definitely has a shiny polyurethane coating on it and the other is just a natural wood. So anyway, these headphones were loaned to me for review by JM Audio, which JM stands for John Massaria, and hope I'm pronouncing that right. Anyway, these both retail at $999 in US dollars, and that's each of these. JM Audio is out of New York in the USA. And this is my first review of anything from JM Audio, so did want to talk about that for a minute. My understanding of JM Audio, which is owned and run by John Massaria, he started out customizing headphones made by other companies, and I think the first one he did was he did a customized version of the Kennerton Gallahorn. And that's one of the few Kennerton headphones I actually haven't heard. I've heard the LSA Ultra or HP2 Ultra, which is similar but not exactly the same. But anyway, he actually impressed Kennerton so much that they actually put out a JM version of that headphone, and a couple of others in fact. So anyway, he started out modifying other headphones from other brands, and then I'm not sure if the XTC is his first headphone that he's actually designed the entire headphone, but there was an XTC and now these are the XTC2, and there is an open back version and a closed back. But I was looking at their website and he does modifications of several different headphones from several different companies. So anyway, this is the first chance I've had to review any of his products, and I've heard a lot of good things. So anyway, I'll get into this a little bit. These are the XTC2. They're open backs, and I kind of got off track here a little bit. I guess where I was trying to go is these are a wired full-size over-the-ear open back design. They both use a 50 millimeter dynamic driver, and the one this one here, the driver is made of Biowool and it's 32 ohms, and then this one, the driver is made of Beryllium and it's 64 ohms. And the Biowool version, your only option is 32 ohms. A Beryllium driver, you have an option of 32, 64, or 300 ohms. I didn't get to pick, but I have a lot of different amps, so it doesn't really matter. I can always find something that matches up well. But this is the 600 ohm version. I haven't seen or heard the original XTC. Like I said, this is the XTC version 2. The one thing I do know is these are slightly larger. I think the XTC was 100 millimeters in diameter. These are 110, so they're actually pretty large. The weight of these, there's actually a little bit of difference. According to my kitchen scale, the Biowool version weighed in at 401 grams, and the Beryllium version weighed in at 423, which is actually pretty light for a full-size headphone. And in fact, when I wear these things, they feel almost weightless. They just feel very lightweight. I guess my adjustment's off here a little bit. I'll show you this in a minute, how these adjust. But anyway, these are extremely comfortable headphones, and they feel almost like there's nothing there on your head. The ear pads are very comfortable. They've got just enough clamping force that they don't move around. You don't have to worry about it falling off. But for some reason, they just feel lighter than pretty much any other headphone. You know, even headphones that weigh similar, they just feel lighter for some reason. I think part of it's the ear pads are extremely soft, and the headband, it's got a nice leather strap on it, and I believe the head strap itself is aluminum. And I'll move in a little bit closer here and give you a closer look at this. You've got your head strap here, your aluminum headband. The adjustments here, that they swivel, but they don't swivel all the way around. They do have a lock. They swivel enough to, you know, adjust to your head, and then they just slide up and down. They click into wherever position you want them. They swivel this way. The ear pads are tapered, and these ear pads right here, you can see that these, I think they're, I'm almost positive they're real leather on the outside, but it's I don't know what to call it, a fuzzy material on the inside. And they are quite thick and very soft, and they do have memory foam in them. And I'll give you a close-up look at the grill there. Pretty cool looking. You can see a lot of different colors in there. You can also see the same thing in the photo behind. The one on the left is the Beryllium version. The one on the right is the Biowool version, and it's just the angle of the photo. They are the same size. I did want to explain, it was kind of an accident that I ended up with two of these at the same time. What happened was John Massaria contacted me and asked me if I was interested in reviewing one of his headphones. I said I'd love to. So he sent out, the first one he sent was this one, and the Beryllium version, and he sent it by U.S. Postal Service. Well, anyway, it was supposed to be here on the 27th of October. That was the delivery date on the tracking number. It said, I think it was mailed on the 23rd or 24th from New York, which is like 1,000 miles from here. So anyway, it was supposed to be delivered on the 27th. The 27th, it doesn't show up, and I track it, and there's no delivery date anymore. No information, doesn't say where it's at, where it's been, nothing. I can't figure out where my headphone's at. So I contacted John to let him know that, and he did some checking, and it turns out there was a chemical spill in a distribution center up by St. Louis, that this was headed towards there. So I don't know if it ever made it to that distribution center, or if the spill happened before it got there and it got rerouted. But anyway, this thing just disappeared from tracking completely for like 7 or 8 days. And we had no idea when I was going to get it, or if I was going to get it. We didn't know if it was sitting in a warehouse with a chemical spill or what was going to happen. So he went ahead and sent me a second pair. Well, the second pair was a little different. It was the Biowool version. Okay, he sent this UPS overnight air, and I had it a couple days later. So I actually got this version like 3 days earlier than the other. So this was here in like 2 or 3 days. Started listening to it, really liked it. Okay, so then this finally shows up on tracking again. Ended up getting here, I think, on November 7th or 8th or something, about 11 days later than it was supposed to. So finally did get it and let John know, and he said, go ahead and review both of them, do a comparison of the two if you'd like. So that's the story. That's how I ended up with two similar but not identical headphones to do a review of. So anyway, they are similar but not exactly the same. There are some definite differences in the sound, and I'll go into that in a few minutes. I want to talk about the general sound of these first, because they are very similar. And I did also want to point out that these, what did I do with it? I meant to bring it over here. I'm going to wander over around the corner. I think this is the first time I've done this while shooting a video, that I've actually left my seat. But anyway, I forgot to put this over here where I could reach it. They do come in these Pelican style hard cases, which are, I believe, waterproof and dustproof and crush proof. I'm sure it could stand on this. So they come in very nice cases. The Biowool version came with 2 sets of ear pads, and no, actually that one came with 3 sets of ear pads, and the Beryllium version came with 2 sets of ear pads. And then this is the headphone cable that I believe is the cable that comes stock with these headphones. It's got a 1/4 inch connection at your amp end, and then the headphones have 3.5 millimeter connections, and they seem to work with any 3.5 millimeter cable that I've tried with them. But this is very nice, paracord covered cloth, about 2 meters long. Very nice cable for a stock cable. A lot nicer than what comes with most headphones. And then the Biowool version also had this in the case. This is one of their higher end cables. This one actually has a 4-pin full-size XLR balanced connection at the amp end. Once again, 3.5 at the headphone end. I'm having a little bit of trouble here. Very nice looking, very high quality cable here. Also about 2 millimeters long. And I think, I was looking at their website, I think if you buy this headphone, I think it only comes with the 1 cable, but I think they, for a small additional fee, throw in, you know, the 2nd upgrade cable with it. I'm not sure of the amount, so I'm not going to say it on my video. But anyway, for my reviews so far, and I've had these, since I got the 2nd one about, what's today's date? The 16th, so about 9 days ago, and the first one a few days before that. I intended to do my first impressions about a week ago, but like I said, I was down with strep throat and had a fever, pretty sick, and it's a little bit of an effort to speak, but doing the best I can, and didn't want to get any further behind. So far my reviewing standard for me, CD transport is a source. I've been using my Audio GD stack, which is the R8 DAC and Master 9 amp. I've also used the R8 DAC with the Felix Audio Elise OTL tube amp, which seems to work really well with both of these headphones, especially the 64 ohm Beryllium version. I've also been tried these with the iFi Audio Pro IDSD Signature combination DAC amp, and they both sound incredible with that. I'm just so happy with that DAC amp, and I haven't got to my full review of that, but really enjoying my time with that. And then also the Hi-Fi Man EF400 combination amp DAC, which works real well with these. And I did want to mention that my clean power is provided by Core Power Technologies. So anyway, like I said, both these headphones have a similar sound. They're both what I would describe warm, rich, and bassy. These are both headphones that I would consider an audiophile grade headphone that's going to put a smile on the face of bass heads. Most really bassy headphones, in my opinion, aren't of audiophile quality. Usually the bass is boomy, it's distorted, it's not tight, it's not well controlled, but that's not the case with these headphones. They both have the bass has a lot of weight, but it's very well controlled and very tight. Is a little bit of difference between the two, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, both of these headphones I would describe as having rich, thick, liquid, lush mid-range. They both make vocals sound incredible, especially female vocals. They're just beautiful on both of these headphones. Like I said, the bass it's got power behind it and weight, but it's tight and well controlled. The treble on both of these is very well balanced, and I wanted to mention that a lot of headphones that I've heard that do have substantial bass, most of them, and I reviewed one just very recently. I reviewed the Hi-Fi Man HE9 closed back, and that's a headphone that has a lot of bass, but in my opinion nowhere near the quality of the bass of this headphone, because the bass is boomy and muddy and basically sounded like crap in my opinion. Okay, these have much tighter, much more controlled bass, and the other problem was, and a lot of bassy headphones have this problem, where the treble just has one narrow little peak right about where cymbals are at, and you do hear the cymbals, you hear a little bit of sparkle, but there's no lower treble or no upper treble, just that one little peak. And that's not the case with these. These have a very wide, well-balanced treble where I don't feel like I'm missing anything. And in fact, I don't feel like I'm missing anything at any point of the frequency range with this, because the bass is so well controlled. It doesn't overwhelm even the lower mid-range, or doesn't bleed into the mid-range at all. So I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. And these do have very good low treble. They both have a very wide sound stage. I mean very wide. They're way out there. Not an incredible huge amount of depth, but very good width and pretty good height. They both have very good imaging, very precise, and very good separation of the instruments. So what are the differences between these two headphones? I'm actually, at this point right now, I'm actually leaning towards the Beryllium. I actually prefer the Beryllium. But I don't have a whole lot of time in on these, so I will spend more time listening. But at this moment, I'm preferring the Beryllium over the Biowool. The differences are, the Beryllium I think has better extension into the lower bass, into the sub bass. It seems to go a little bit lower. They both have very good mid bass, but the Beryllium version just seems to dig in a little deeper, and the Beryllium version also seems to be a little bit more punchy in the bass, a little bit more dynamic. Okay, getting into the mid range, they both have a very rich, very lush, very liquid mid range that's beautiful. But the Beryllium version is actually set back a little bit further. The sound stage that I'm hearing, the mids are a little bit further away, where the Biowool version, the mids are a little more forward, a little more pronounced, a little more in my face. And so if if you're really going for a mid-range headphone that really brings out the mids, the Biowool version actually seems slightly warmer, but a little bit more forward, where you just hear everything a little bit more. But at the same time, I find the Beryllium version, excuse me just a second. It seems to me that the Beryllium version in the mids just has a slightly cleaner, slightly more detailed sound in the mid-range. I'm not positive about that. I need to spend a little bit more time with it, but that's just my first impression. That the Beryllium version, the mids are a little more distant, but just slightly cleaner, where the Biowool version are a little more in your face, but just slightly behind in detail to the Beryllium version. Besides from that, the treble's pretty much almost identical. I think the Beryllium version is slightly more sensitive. It might be the other way around. I forgot. One requires just a little bit less amp, but both are very easy to drive. But I think the Beryllium version is a little bit more punchy, a little bit more dynamic, and I do like, it just seems like the sub bass digs in a little bit deeper into the low frequencies. But they both have great bass, they both have great mid-range, they both have great treble. And before I go, I did want to mention I did a few brief comparisons, and for a while there, when I did a first impression on a headphone or amp or something, I wasn't doing any comparisons before I did my first impressions video. But then I realized that my brain quickly adjusts to a new headphone or new amp or whatever, and it can sound really good, and then I'll go listen to one of my references and realize there was a problem. So lately I have been doing brief comparisons, and I did briefly compare these to some other headphones, and they were all at least the same price or more. And both of these headphones held their own against all of these very well. And the first one I'll mention, and I'm not going to dig deep into this because, like I said, this is just my first impressions, but I compared these to the Hi-Fi Man Aria Stealth, which sells for about the same price. I think those are $999 right now. And that was my headphone of the year last year, under $1,000. Or in fact, no, I think that headphone was still $13.99 last year, or $12.99, something like that. Anyway, one of my favorite headphones. And the Aria still slightly beats these out in detail, but both of these have more bass, and I considered the Aria Stealth to have pretty much perfect tone balance, and these sound almost exactly the same, except with a little more weight to the bass. So they're giving up, these are both giving up a slight amount of detail to the Aria Stealth, but they have more weight to the bass, and they both definitely have a wider soundstage than the Aria Stealth. Okay, then I compared these to the HE1000 Stealth. And once again, these both held their own very well. Once again, the HE1000 Stealth slightly outdid both of these in detail. They can't quite keep up with it in that respect, but they both have more weight to the bass and go deeper than the HE1000 Stealth. And even though the HE1000 Stealth has a very large soundstage, these both held their own in soundstage width and height and depth. So these things, in my opinion, hold their own with the HE1000 Stealth, which currently sells for $13.99, but up until about 6 months ago, that was a $3,000 headphone. Did a very brief comparison of these to the ZMF Atrium Open, and they actually have kind of a similar sound, and did a very brief comparison of these to the Kennerton Odin. That would be the 2019 version. And I did want to mention the Odin, the pads were replaced with Kennerton ECL02 memory foam pads, which do give it more bass and make it more comfortable. And these actually have a very similar sound to the Odin, which is one of my favorite headphones. So these things are holding their own with headphones that are twice the price. So very impressed so far. And I did want to mention also that these headphones have absolutely zero listening fatigue and wearing fatigue. The Hi-Fi Man egg-shaped headphones, I can only wear those for about an hour, and I have to take a 10-minute break because of the long ear cups that reach way down and put pressure on my jaw and aggravate my TMJ. And I have to take a break once an hour with all the egg-shaped Hi-Fi Man headphones, and these I do not have any issues. I could probably wear these all day. They're extremely comfortable, feel extremely light on my head, and there is absolutely zero listening fatigue. And two things will cause me listening fatigue. One is harsh treble, which these do not have at all. And bright treble doesn't bother me as much as harsh or distorted treble. And then the other is muddy bass. Muddy bass will give me listening fatigue. And these give me zero. So these are a headphone that I could probably listen to all day. And they actually leak less sound to the outside than the Hi-Fi Mans. Quite a bit less. At the same volume, these are putting out quite a bit less sound that other people are going to hear in the room. So anyway, I've got a lot of reviews that I'm behind on. I've been trying to get my full review of the Hi-Fi Man HE1000 Stealth out for like a month now and keep getting delayed. I need to get that done. I've got some other reviews I need to do. Probably be a month before I can get back to these, and I will do separate full reviews on these. But in the meantime, I'm really enjoying these headphones. These are some of the best headphones I've heard. But like I did say, I'm actually slightly preferring the Beryllium version. So, but I'll get back to you as soon as I can with a full review. And by that time, I should be getting into my year-end videos, and hopefully I can get those out on time this year. Last year, they ended up being about a month, probably about a month late because of me being hit by Bell's palsy last year in early January. So anyway, I'll get back to you. Once again, this is William from the Headphone Experience. If this video has helped you, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you are all welcome to join us at the Headphone Experience on Facebook. We're up to, I think we just hit 27,000 members over there. So we added 60 in one day a few weeks ago. So anyway, hope to see you over there. And once again, thanks for watching my video.